Now, I did make one or two fundamental mistakes with the creation of this video, both with the creation of the video itself and with the recipe that I was trying to follow. I could have deleted the entire thing and started again, pretend it never happened, but I didn't, because I think it's important to maintain authenticity on social media. And to do that, we need to show our failures as well as our successes. And I'm always happy to do that. It's also part of the learning journey. You know, if we show where we go wrong, then other people may learn from it. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. It's another glorious wet day here in North Wales, so I've decided this afternoon I'm going to head into the kitchen and do something different. Now, this is the first time I've ever tried to make a cookery video of any kind, outdoors or in, and it's certainly the first time I've filmed anything in this kitchen, so please bear with me. I've always had an interest in expeditions throughout history. And one element that's always fascinated me is how they feed themselves. You know, how do people, without freezer-out foods, what did they do to survive? So today, in today's video, I'm going to have a go at making a sea biscuit or ship's biscuit, or I think it's called a hardtack in the US, which is a way of creating a food with a long shelf life. It's hard to know exactly how long this type of biscuit has been around, but needless to say, it's been a long time. Evidence suggests that this kind of biscuit, the sea biscuit, was used in Roman times and even before. I've just noticed the light bouncing off my head. That's not good. I'm leaning on the cooker bleeps. Right, the recipe that I'm using comes from kind of an amalgamation of recipes that I found on YouTube and Google. When I say an amalgamation of recipes, there's only 3 ingredients, and I don't know why I had to look at my ingredients list to check the 3 ingredients. It's flour, sugar, no sugar, flour, salt and water. So flour, salt and water, and the quantities are suggesting that you have 1 cup of water, 2 teaspoons of salt per 2 cups of flour. Now, the way that people seem to do it, it's not scientific, it's the way that I like to cook, which is kind of a little bit intuitive. You're just making a dough. You know, kids could do this stuff. If kids can do it, I can do it. Right? The measurements for this recipe, as I mentioned just a second ago, is all in cups and teaspoons. Now, a couple of years ago in a charity shop, I found this very pretty little set, right? It's like Russian dolls. So you've got a 1/4 cup, a 1/3 cup, a 1/2 cup, and a full cup. Kind of looks like a pink cabbage. So here we go, joined by a dog. 2 cups of flour, 1 cup, right. Roughly. A bit more for good luck. Okay, that's roughly 2 cups of flour. I want some salt. Ping. 2 teaspoons of salt. I don't like so much salt, so I guess salt originally was part of the preservative process, so I put a generous helping, but not too much. And then 2 cups of water. I dropped in part of the salt cellar. So 2 cups of water. I don't think you need these cups. I think as long as you're kind of keeping the measures equal, that's what it's all about. And then stir it up. Now, apparently this should end up like a Play-Doh. Doesn't look too bad so far. Okay, apparently if it's too sticky, it's too wet. So add some flour. Spoon. Spoon. Stir some more. Wash my hands. Excuse me, Pete. Good girl. side. Put some flour on the board. Okay, that's more than I wanted, but whatever. You know, your sleeves always fall down when you're doing this stuff, and then you get mucky sleeves. Never mind. The dough should be quite dry and not sticky at all, not stick to your hands, or not stick to the board. So just put some more flour down. And as I'm doing this, it'll absorb the additional flour. As you can tell, this isn't a really scientific method. It really is intuitive, you know, and I love cooking this way. Cooking intuitively is so much more fun, especially when you've got a dog as a spectator. No, not having it. I think that's pretty much there. So I'm going to tear some off. And make the biscuit. Now when it comes to actually making the biscuit and forming the biscuit, there are two ways of doing it. You can do it the rustic way and use your hands to form the patties, or you can do it the posh way with a rolling pin and pastry cutters, which I can't seem to find in the new kitchen. So I'm doing it the old-fashioned way, hands and guesswork. A common practice is to pierce holes all the way through to make sure they cook properly and there's no trapped air. I think it's also like a really good and easy way for weevils to get in if you do have weevils. Flip it over, make sure the holes go all the way through to the back. And now to cook. Right, so I've put the biscuits on a baking tray and now they have to go in the oven for 1 hour at 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I'm British, which means my cooker works differently. So I've got to convert 175 degrees Fahrenheit into a unit of measurement that's accepted by British cookers. So I've got to change that into centigrade. So a little bit of calculation here, plus y, bear with me. It's quite complicated, but eventually we get it. 175 degrees Fahrenheit is 79.44 degrees. Thanks Google, you're a star. So 79.44 degrees. It's got to be roughly there, that's 80. Send it back a touch. It's a fan oven, so let's give it a little bit more because it's not really crucial, is it? It's not science. So I think with another quick calculation, that should do. 1 hour on there, take them out, flip them over, hour on the other side, job done. Alexa, 1 hour timer.
1 hour, starting now.
Ida, what do you reckon? Do you think you're going to like Chick's biscuits? Do you think you're going to like Chick's biscuits? Dad, I like all food. I'm a Labrador. I eat everything. Well, I did what the people on YouTube did, and it's gone wrong. They're still soft, very soft. We're only halfway through the cooking process, but they're soft and sticky to the base. Now, my guess is that I've made them too thick, but I'll knock it on for another 20 minutes, half an hour maybe, see how they are. and try again. It's a fail, it's a fail. Guys, I've kind of screwed up. I've just been looking back on my notepad. I've been writing loads and loads and loads of notes to do with cooking and things. You know, I love cooking. Anyway, I realised that I was writing down notes to make beef jerky and confused that with notes to make these biscuits. So I should have doubled the temperature, right? I put it in at, what did I say, sort of 74.999999 recurring or whatever, or 79.44 recurring, and it should have been double that, sort of instead of 175 Fahrenheit, should have been 350. So anyway, don't do what I do. If you're going to make notes in the right place. Okay, the temperature thing didn't help. The fact that I've made them quite thick didn't help. There's still raw dough in the middle, raw moist dough. This is taking hours, but I will persevere and I will make it happen. Finally, I think they're done. What do you reckon, Vesp? Can you remember earlier in the video when I said this recipe and this process is so easy that even young kids could do it? I really should think before I make bold statements like that. But we're now the morning after, right? I adjusted the temperature on the oven, I adjusted the time accordingly, and now we've got these biscuits. They are baked hard, ready to pack and ready to go on an adventure. Now they really are tough, right? Okay, they're tougher than I thought. They really are tough, and it's not the sort of thing that you can just nibble on through the day, unless of course you've got steel teeth. However, if you soak them in your coffee for a while or smash them up and add them to soups, broths, then they're more palatable. And my personal favourite is that I kind of smash it up with a pestle and mortar or the back of a knife on a chopping board and add them to a skillet with some softened onions and corned beef and form kind of like a risol, which is exceptionally tasty. Or the other option is you could just build a house or a rockery. So that's it. The chips biscuits are done. It took me a while, but I got there eventually, and thanks for sticking with me. Now it's your turn. Flour, water, salt. Go make your own. Good luck.